Hello class, I selected Nickel and Dimed in America. This book title interested me because every day many citizens of the U.S. are living paycheck to paycheck and struggling with paying the bills, or even not knowing where they're going to lay their head that night. The book is about the author taking on her own experiment to relocate herself into a low poverty town or neighborhood with only her clothes. She did this in 3 different locations, one in Maine, one in Florida, and one in Montana. She is forced to find a place to live and a new job that will help pay the bills and her expenses for that month. There are times when she lives in a cheap motel with no oven, stove, or fridge because she cannot afford housing such as an apartment. She was hired to be a maid. She worked in a nursing home. She was a waitress at one point, and she also worked at Walmart. At times, she also worked 2 jobs and all of these jobs were very labor intensive. Barbara was the daughter of a miner in a blue-collar Montana town where she was born and raised. By the time she was ready for college, her family was considered a middle-class home. She received her degree in physics, but soon realized writing was her passion. As a mother herself, she struggled financially as being a writer. Barbara may not have had a lot of real life experience at poverty, but she did place herself into a lifestyle to learn more about the environment for this book. After experimenting, Barbara talks about how low wages are and how intense the job duties become. She feels that her income, especially as a waitress, as was very low even though she received tips. The job she obtained required all all hours on her feet, constantly moving and sometimes labor intensive. While working with her coworkers, she learned about their lives as a low-wage employee. Oftentimes, management, oftentimes management did not trust their employees. They were rude to their employees and were not very understanding. She met single mothers, drug dealers, victims to abuse at home, and even people who slept in their vehicles. These people cannot afford housing, food, clothes, much less an education to qualify for a better career. In higher education, it is important to know that there are individuals in our society with this struggle, and some, if they can afford it, are enrolled in our schools. How do we help these students with these with these struggles that they have? If I could interview Barbara, I would ask her what was the most difficult environment for her to work in, and why was it difficult for her to work in? Was it of um, because of the labor, because of the wages, because it wasn't paying her bills? Was it just because it's not something she was used to doing, or because of the constant movement and labor and on her feet? So those are a few things I would ask her. Also, what was the most upsetting for her? Again, was it the wages? Was it just management, poor management? And then what did you learn most from others living in a low income environment? What was their biggest struggle, and what did they have to deal with from day to day and deal with when they went home and carried throughout day to day, and how did they try and improve the lifestyle they were in. I the book the book really helped me think about all the struggles low income or even non-traditional students may face. Not only do these students have to attend class, study, and write papers, but they have to work 30 or more hours a week and possibly take care of family at home. It was important for us it is important for us to inform these students of the resources they have on campus that could be beneficial. Although academic resources are helpful, some things that might be more beneficial to these students are things such as food banks or counseling services or health centers, where they can receive those free services if needed without having to pay extra money. Also, computer access. Some people, some of them are living in their cars, some are living in motels, some are living with friends, and some are living in apartments that they can't even pay from month to month. So not only do these students not have their own computer, but they don't have access to a computer at all. Or they may not have, if they do have access to a public library with a computer, it's usually closed when they're available to use it because they're at work all day. So having computer access to those students overnight and at all times is very helpful so that they can study and they can be prepared for class and their test. It's also important that we keep an open mind when dealing with all students. Although we may help students on a day-to-day basis, we don't know what lifestyle they come from or what background they're from. And so just keeping an open mind that you never know what kind of struggle a student might be going through when helping them in a day-to-day situation. So that's all I have about my book presentation. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you.